Hey, welcome all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in and check out your boy, P-Funk. Thinking right out here in the lab in 2 books. I got one big book, and I got a little book inside the big book. But the lesson I'm giving you is from the little book. But the lesson I got coming up is from the big book. So I got it all figured out. All right, but the lesson today is going to be a good one. I'm wrapping up the first parable with the psychomythology of creation. Old lesson, but give a new twist on it. How about that? Let's go. Right is 25 rules to live by. Storytelling. Story with a message. The message I give is a story for life. I give you life lessons. You tune in and receive them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. I got you. Right thinking mission, and I'm on it, is to enlighten, educate, inspire, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking way of life through mental and spiritual discipline practice daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission is that all my right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. You see where we're going with this? Let's get it together. So I ask you the question, do you know you? You will when I'm through, because that's what I do. All right, let's go. It's rhetorical, but if you have an answer for yourself, tune in. I got you. A person who knows not, and knows not that they know not, is foolish. Disregard them. It's a lot of them, trust me. A person who knows not, and knows that they know not, they simple. Why? But you can teach them. That's why I do what I do. For you, I appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous. A pain in the ass too, but I avoid them. They're dangerous. Trust me, avoid them. I do when I can. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I make the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you if you're spiritually asleep. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers know thyself and always too. Might be true. We're going to wrap it up with the philosophy of the psychomythology of creation. I'm going to give you a quick breakdown. I've done this before. I want to try to run through it because I got some other stuff. This is just the first parable, which is the longest one, which there's 4. Okay, but this is all for educational purpose. Let's go. Psychomythology is a term that he had coined to refer to the study of myths and using it as a tool for promoting psychological integration and well-being and spiritual evolution. We give you the stories to implement them for yourself, and it becomes manifested for yourself. The term psycho, up here, not crazy, meaning mental, is to be understood to mean everything that constitute what? Human consciousness. That thing on the shoulder up here, in all of its stages and states. Again, being aware. But most importantly, the subconscious and the unconscious levels of your mind. That's where most of the work is done. When you're asleep or when your body's just working on its own, because the subconscious keeps the body functions going. But when you go into the meditative state, that drops everything down to where everything's taking place up here. That's the concept. But mythology is the storytelling that engages the heart and mind with what? Understanding. Here it refers to what? The study of codes. What's codes? Messages, esoteric teachings, which ideas and derivatives, again, stories of the culture and the beliefs, etc. Every culture has their own legendary folklore culture. And people who study whatever they practice it don't know that. You can practice right thinking, but I'm gone. You don't know what's on my mind. You don't know what my intention was. You know what environment I was up in that made me think and feel the way I did. So I get that concept perfect. And that affect the personality, what? Through what? The conscious mind. Now you're conscious. Your subconscious and even your unconscious aspects of your mind, you need to have control of every phase of that. They call it Tahuti, Hermes Trismegistus, thrice great. Meaning he's great in the unconscious state, he's great in the subconscious state, and he's great in the conscious state. That's what you want to be. That's the whole idea. And that means having control over your mind. And watch this, the aspect of the mind of every individual. You have that opportunity. Specifically, who? Those who affects which result in psycho-spiritual transformation. Becoming conscious of oneself. Waking up to who you are, remembering who you are, how you want to view it. But it's all becoming enlightenment. What? Through learning, practicing the myth that was told, the philosophy that's laid down, and the rule that govern. Maya philosophy again. And that is what you call transpersonal. Means you individually transform. Every caterpillar have to personally transform for itself. If not, it's going to die a caterpillar. We're all born ignorant of who we are. Lost in memory, whatever you want to call it. But the goal is to get that while you're here. Why? Because when the physical body dies, the spirit either going to do one of two things. Again, go home because it's enlightened, and go to another body because it's not. Your job is to do your personal part. That's the personal transformation right there. And it's also transcendental change in what? Your personality for every individual, which leads them to what? Eventually and finally discovery of what? The transcendental reality behind all existence. You haven't tapped into God. Moving on. That's the goal and that's the idea. But they do it philosophically, not with a hope. Nope. A philosophy that you can follow, mythological stories that make sense. Watch this. The process of creation, we have to break it down, is explained in the form of what they call cosmological system. And that's for a better understanding. We wasn't there. We don't know. So we try to give you a breakdown and understanding that makes sense. And from my point of view, I can systematically understand it. I'm good with that. But I don't care. Whatever's, I'm good with what I got. I got a bird in the hand. You got all the religions, all the philosophy. Okay, I got mine. I'm not letting it go to try none of that. Okay? I got mine. Understand that. If that's how you feel about yours, I ain't got a problem with that. Because I sure got mine. I don't get it. But all them don't mean nothing to me. Respectfully. Okay, get the concept. And when you got locked in like that, you can't be swayed. You can't all that nonsense. You know who and what you're doing. All right. So they do that for a better understanding. Now let's go. So cosmology is a branch of philosophy. Again, dealing with what? With the origin, the beginning of things, and the process and the structure of the universe. Hello, in the beginning. They break it down perfectly. I'm going to take you through it. I'm going to go a little quick because it's old stuff, but I'm trying to get to the other stuff, so I got to go through it. All right. Cosmogony is the astrophysical study of the creation and the evolution of the universe. And both of these, again, both, speculative, operative. Again, love that. And both these disciplines are inherent facets. That means you got to have understanding of both of your Egyptian philosophy. Hear that? The Egyptian philosophy. There's a philosophy that we practice through what? The main religious systems. We practice it as if it was a religion. That's what y'all want to call it. Cool, but we had it and called it a philosophy, a system that you practice every day. And what's this? Our companies of what they call God and goddesses. Now the breakdown comes. You ready? Oh, I got a nice time. Now, we call it a company of gods and goddesses. And that's really a group of deities. Pay attention. Which symbolize, these are all symbolical, a particular cosmic force or a principle, starting with Maya, balance, reciprocity, justice, all divine. That's what she represents. She's the right, I'll get that in a minute. I'll get to it again. I keep the lesson going, excuse me. But they are forces or principles which what emanated from what? The all-encompassing supreme being, the one, from which they all emerged. Not by itself, from the one. The self or the supreme being manifests creation through a properties and the principles represented by what they call the Paute, or the company of God and goddesses, some call it the Enad, okay, the 8 couples and the 9 being Ra, or God. Again, you got the Agdo, another 8 concepts, but everybody had 2 opposites, male and female, principles, concepts, forces, cosmic forces. So let's go. Now, law of nature. These are cosmic laws of nature, like karma. That's a cosmic law of nature. You reap what you sow. Man don't control that, okay? But the system, or the company of God and goddesses of Anu, that's what we practice, the Sirian myth, is regarded, this is why, we taking the Anu, regarded as the oldest, and forms and the basis of what? The Osirian Trinity, Father, Mother, Son. It is expressed in the diagram below. I'm about to break it down for you right now. That's where we're going. And this is what it looks like. I got the Tree of Life, break it down for you too. I got a big book with that. But see right here, starting with Ra. When Ra Atum or Ratum, that's when he said, let there be light. Ra represents that. And after that, you got the three. This is Ra. Het Haru, left eye, the power, destructive. Tahuti, minds of God. That's the right thinking. And you got my girl, Maya. She's the right eye of Ra. You know that? Okay, I gotta break that down. Ra's a human being. You can break it down from that point on, but I'm gonna go to the next one. Now, diagram I talked about, it will show what? That the creative principles which are embodied in the primordial gods and goddesses, or we know to be creation, emanated from the supreme being, who? Ra. They knew that the sun wasn't God, okay? It was something else. It was the Son of God. God put it there, what? For us. Concept. Philosophically, that's the concept. But now you got Atum. He rose out of the noon, which is constant chaos, not doing nothing. Darkness, nothing going on, no time, no space. Just there. It's just there. Okay. Y'all call it the abyss. Okay, same thing. But we call it the primeval waters. And then the hidden essence. And started to begin what? The sudden, they call it the boat of a million years. The concept of boat, that's when time started, which included, you ready? The company of God and goddesses on his boat. I show you one noon pushing them up. The boat emerged out of the noon with the Neteru, meaning more, or cosmic principles of creation. What they are? I'm breaking them down for you when we get there. They call it the Neters, or the Paute, or Ratum. Shu is air. Tafnu, she's moisture. She's the rainfall. The earth already 75% water. So she represents water coming from above. The dew, morning dew, that mist. Okay, that's her. Geb represents the earth. Now the philosophy of earth, Mother Earth, Gaia, yeah, I get all that. But the original concept, earth was male. Why? Heaven was the female. That's why. So again, what you know, I got the origins. I ain't saying you don't know. I got the origin of what you do know, but I know what you don't know. Why? I do know. Must study it. That's my purpose. That's my whole goal, is to what? Give you something that you don't know. Moving on. That's why I study. Okay. But Geb was the earth. Newt represents heaven. Okay. Started that female. Okay. And it was said that in the West, she would swallow Ra. And night he transferred to her body, and she give birth to him every day. That's a different story. Again, the original story. Everybody got the story broke down their way, conceptually, and that's fine. But I just tell you, I got the origins. And then after Geb and Newt, the first man, the sixth item. Remember, the five is sun, water, air, earth, and heaven. The next one is man, spirit. That's where Asar comes in. He was supposed to be the first man. And the sister Set. Now Set, which represents your ego, he wasn't supposed to be born till fourth. He came out, pushed his way out from the side. He made his own out. He came out on his own. That's the ego, showing that's what he represents. And they always show him in a negative light. Why? That's your ego. Rambunctious, just ready to go. You got to tame it. That's who Haru is. He's the one that tames that uncle, the hero in yourself, with your lower self running mark. Man, not that. She's the twin to Aset. How could they be separated? Of course, when they're coming out, Set, Bogart, so you got, it should be Asar, Set, Neptet, and then Set. Asar and Set ain't twins. Set and Neptet are. Okay, one represents immortality, one represents mortality, that's why. But then you got Het Haru, that's the left eye. You know the story about her, I give you that. She the one that got lost doing Ra's work and just lost herself, okay? And Tahuti, which is God's mind, came and calmed her down. This is the lesson we're dealing with right now. Okay, that's the concept. And my girl, Maya, she represents all the attributes of the Supreme Being as the very stuff or the substratum which makes up creation. She's the glue to hold everything together. Ra stands on my yacht. Okay, all the guys is pedestal. Her sign is the scale and the pedestal for that reason. And again, creation, Shu, air, tough, note, moist air, Geb, earth, Nut, heaven, Asar, the spirit, and man, aka the beast. 666, that's the beast. That's us, okay? Man. I set, and that. Now, they all represent principles. They're not real people. We give them identity. We make them so we can emulate them. They're not real people, just like Jesus. Not a real person. You gotta do the same thing. It's the same philosophy. That's why I can't. I'm not knocking it, but now I'm trying to show you ain't no difference. It's how you live. Moving on again. But these are principles upon which creation manifests. Don't care what you think. This is what's based on. And you got Anubis. Is not part of the Enoch. Why? Because he's the offspring between Asar and Nephet, spirit and nature. He represents your discernment as human beings. Our first priority is to have good discernment. Why? Between good and evil. Why? Eternal fight is going to go on. That's why. It's all philosophical, metaphorical, and symbolical. And once you understand it, wow. Yeah, it makes sense. That's life. And he represents what? Anubis. He represents the feature of what? Intellectual discrimination. In the Assyrian myth, he's the Tsar's son. He the one that embalmed him. Okay, he's the embalmer. Okay, so an idea of sailing signifies the beginning of motion in creation. Big Bang, sailing, same thing. Motion, again, implies that events occur in the realm of time and space. Thus, the phenomenal universe comes into existence as a mass of moving essence we call the elements. Prior to this motion, there was no primeval state of being without any form or without existence in time or space. Everything was just there. Okay, Apophis was calling shots. Why? That's what he wanted, quiet. He got pissed off when light came in, disturbing his rest. Story, metaphor. Now I just gave the breakdown of the creation, the aspects of creation. That's what it's based on, okay? Now, in the story, wrapping it up, Het Hadu began to cry upon what? When she realized what she seemed to have lost and forgotten. She got caught up, okay? One night love, but yeah, you lose yourself and you just go for it. That's understandable. They're going to break it down for you right here. And then what? A strange thing happened. Tahuti, which is her right thinking mind, reason, rationalizing, tried to get her to return to Egypt, to herself. And all of a sudden, she realized right there, no matter how much I can teach you, no matter what I say to you, you have to come to grips with whatever lesson I'm trying to get to you for yourself. That's my job, to get it out there for you. You got to take it and use it. And that's what she said. She realized what she was doing and what? She fell back into what? Pit of negativity. The pity party. Feel sorry for yourself. When you stroll down memory lane, your intention is the good stuff. But every now and then, the bad one and gut shots you. That's why. Hold on one second. That's my dude. Yeah, sorry about that. And what they're saying in life, I hear people who, okay, you get off of alcohol, you rehab or something, you take care of the problem, then for some other reason, for whatever reason, you end up backsliding or I fell off the wagon, all these phrases, but that's what they're saying here. When she fell back into what? The pit of negativity, the pity party, okay? And this is not an uncommon occurrence. Again, in the spiritual life or in ordinary life, it happens to all of us and to the best of us. So sometimes a person may experience joy, making that stroll down memory lane, think about the good time. I got to do a Father's Day lesson. I'm having problems, okay? So watch this. You experience joy, and then seemingly for no reason, they may fall into that pit of what? Depression. I go back there. I still trying to control that. Again, thinking about it mixes me up. But sometimes watch this, your mental delusion which is your memory, watch this, and the erupting emotion, you put them together, will cause a person to strike out with anger in an uncontrolled manner. If they respond that way, I personally start crying. Okay, I get caught up. Okay, but that's why emotions and mental come together on the wrong side, and that's what's the results of that. Some people fight, get violent. That's what they're saying. But even they lash out even toward those who offer them kindness and truth and love, meaning relatives or close friends. That's what they're gonna lash out at. Okay, this is a factor caused by, you ready? Negative impressions, ignorance in the karmic basis from the past, meaning you want something, you expect something, it didn't happen, so now you're not feeling good about yourself. It turns into what? Anger, hatred, and rage. Okay, these are all forms of mental illness. Again, if you think that's normal to just go from 0 to 60, no, it's not. You got problems, mental illness. And watch this, their intensity most times incapacitates them for what? Their facilities to what? Reason and having self-control. They lose it. We know people do that, and some people, you quiet, introvert people, they call them geeks, whatever, quiet people. When you push and push and push, when they push back, man, oh man, that's like Heck Hadoo. She's God's fury. When she come, all hell breaking loose. No, it's too late. Why? Once you open that box, it's a wrap. The Hulk concept. Bruce Banner, you push him. Why? You don't want to make a man. Why? You'll find out, okay? And we all got that in us. That's what I said symbolically. They're just trying to show you. But watch this. Now, at this time, understanding, gentleness, and forgiveness, and what? Humility. But most of all, you have to have patience. It's just needed what? When you're dealing in order to deal with these kind of people. We all know them kind of people. In order to help them, you got to have patience, kindness, understanding of the situation, and show them, watch this, who are in this degraded, dull state of mind. I mean, they ignorant and they ain't handling it too well. They're going through some things in their mind and they're not responding well. So your job is to try to help them through it. Most time, listen, just be there for them. All that advice is shut up. That's the best advice. So, oh no, I got to make a two-parter. Yeah, it's going to be a two-parter. But let's go back into the next one right quick. Tahuti, which is your reason, your right thinking, me, is the embodiment of patience. And he's the wellspring of what? Parables, mystical wisdom teachings. Again, me. So he wisely what? Humbles himself. Why? Playing into the game. And he begs for mercy from her. He seemingly what? Submits to her power, but does not attempt to confront it, since he is no match for her in might. She's the lioness form. She's bad. Okay, she got the power of Ra. So ain't nobody beating her. So you can't attack her and deal with her from that aspect. You got to outthink her. Here you go. So at the same time, he's clever. He cleverly what? Captivates her attention away from what? Her anger and her attempts at violence, and he channels her emotions, her feelings to what? Interest in other mystical parables. He's trying to break down to her how to be a different person. Now, an important point of dealing with what? A dull-minded individual is how the negative thoughts and the feelings are handled. Again, how do you deal with them when they're going through that state? Patience, understanding, gentleness, forgiveness, understanding. They give you the blueprint, okay? But it is important to view the negative thoughts and those feelings as well as an adverse condition of life. Yeah, that they cause pretty much themselves because of their actions, because of the emotions, and it puts them. Once you think about something, the thought is okay. But once you put that thought into action, Scooby-Doo, rut roll, be it good or bad, it's going to happen. And what's this? You cause your own adverse conditions of life as what? Your challenges to be what? Overcome instead of a feeling that one is a victim. Stop with that woe is me and negative from others or from one's own mistakes. Realize your fault, your flaws in any situation. relationships, marriages, I take half responsibility. Why? I'm responsible for myself. Simple as that. I never put the blame nowhere else. Understand that. So that's natural. Should be. All right, I'm almost on. But the former idea is what? That's empowering you as a person who what? If you practice it, you will not allow what? That negativity to make you what? Become upset or act out on it. Why? You start to get control of that emotion. You start to think right. You start to get control over the negative thoughts. And when the mind is not upset, agitated, now it can endure the negativity. It can take the beat up. It can take the disappointment. It can take whatever somebody think and feel about. Yeah, okay. And through understanding that what? That it will not last forever. My mother's favorite phrase in my worst times is, don't worry, baby, this too soon shall pass. While at the same time, you can think clearly. And now with the clear thinking, you can resolve your own problem. It frustrates me when the people go outside themselves to take their... If you need advice in life, go to somebody who's doing well in life. Not somebody who's doing just as bad as you. They got no more knowledge than you do. Somebody who's doing better, you go ask them. That's all I'm saying. And what's this? Also, it's very important when a dull state of mind, that one should not simply say, you ready? I will wait until the negativity passes over before I do any work or try to figure out where the negativity came from. That means I'm not going to solve the problem. That means you're not going to take care. You're not going to change. When somebody tell you they're waiting or, yeah, but, let it go. Why? They're not taking it. Moving on. And watch this. Now, because these tactics, and that's what we use, will only serve to what? Increase their own negativity. They don't know that. Again, being ignorant means you don't know. And suppose you have a hole in the ground. I hate this little metaphor. Okay, and again, I call it fluff, but maybe somebody can use it because it makes sense. Watch this. Now, suppose you have a hole in the ground. You got a problem that you can't solve. Okay, if you keep digging a hole, you keep knowing about the problem. You keep going to the problem over your head, but believing that it will either go away or you will be able to find an answer to it. It'll come. You'll figure it out. What the hell is figure it out? I hate that. I figure it out. No, you won't. You should find out. If you don't know, find out. Why? If you figure, you would know. Figuring means I got to decipher. No, not knowing means you don't know. So you can't figure something you don't know. Get knowledge, get information. And you will only make the hole bigger and your mind gets more clouded and agitated, and that leads to distress will lead itself into more deeper and deeper pits of what we call despair, depression, anguish, and sorrow. You just going further and further down. You digging your own hole and jumping into it. Okay, symbolically. But watch this. With sorrow, with no resolution in sight. That's why people commit suicide. They don't see a better situation. They don't see the forest for the tree. They don't see past the situation they're in. Short-sighted. And some people take their lives because of that. Everybody makes a decision for themselves. But the only way to fix the damn hole is to go get some outside advice. Somebody who can help you. And that's the fresh patch of dirt that they fill that damn hole up with with knowledge and understanding. Not with I figured out or it's just figured. No, it don't just work out. Moving on. But that's how you go get information. That's the idea of getting fresh dirt and filling in that hole of ignorance, not knowing. You go get knowledge so you can fill it in. Make sense? Hold on. Ooh, Lord. All right, I'm done. Likewise, when you have the hole of negativity in your consciousness, and that's a figure of speech symbolically, and we all do, unless you address it, you must fill it, with something opposite to the effect to make change. If you're doing bad, what's the opposite of bad? You do good. If you're doing wrong, what's the opposite of wrong? You do right. You see where we're going with this? And that's the basic. I did it. That was bad. This is good. See the difference? Okay. And I know the difference. But you, for yourself, have to do that. That's the name of this whole point. So your scripture recommends that the disciplines of your daily prayer, your daily selfless service, what I'm doing right now, and repetition of your divine name, calling God by his name. I pray internally, so I'm going to have to verbally say it, okay? These, and most importantly, meditation. And that's what? Reflecting on your scriptural teachings. I study daily. I teach daily. So it goes hand in hand. And what? You reflect on the scriptural teachings and to channel your negative emotions. I took that negative mentality, serving myself and hustling and all that nonsense. I flipped it and made it be good. That's what I'm doing now. That's the difference. So I made the change also. I learned life lessons. Now, you flip your emotions into what? A positive direction toward God. And it's exemplified in this story. That's what I'm going to tell you. The next lesson after this parable is what? Devotion to God once you recognize him. I'm going to wrap the lesson up right there. Ooh, 30 minutes. Jesus Christ. They fly by. But I hope you enjoyed the lesson. Oh, I'll be right back. I ain't got nothing else to do but enlighten you. So in closing, right thinkers, may you all live to be 100. Me, 100 miles a day. So I never know that my right thinkers will pass away. Love teaching this lesson to you. I'll be right back.